Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on Terrell Davis. He's an ex-NFL player and was going on vacation with his family. He was on a United Airlines flight and they ended up handcuffing him. It seems like on these flights, these flight attendants can go rogue, so to speak. When I say rogue, they can almost accuse you of anything. And once they accuse you, either when you land or even before you take off, they can have the right to kick you off the plane, have you arrested. And I think there are too many stories now where these scenarios happen. I did 2 trips this summer. Thank God. I had 2 vacations. Super excited and grateful about that. But in the airport, I'm always very mindful of just watching my P's and Q's. And the reason why is because I know, because I've seen too many stories, that so easily someone can accuse you of something that works at the airport, and the next thing you know, you're being handcuffed. You don't even know why, and they have the right to do it for whatever reason. And even if they're in the wrong, they could just apologize later. I mean, you can sue, but you get what I'm saying. Apologize later, and you still suffered, missed your flight, out of money, all that kind of stuff. So most recently with Southwest Airlines from the group Salt and Pepper, and big Salt and Pepper fans from when I was growing up. Pepper, she, had a situation on Southwest Airlines. They kicked off a flight. They kicked her out the airport. It was just a whole hot mess. And now, just a couple of days later, on United Airlines, hearing this Terrell Davis story. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and then we'll talk a little bit more after we watch this particular video. Just super sad. Hold on one
Is
second.
accusing United Airlines of a, quote, disgusting display of injustice, saying that he was handcuffed and removed from a United flight in front of his family over the weekend. His attorney says that legal action could be taken. Davis says during the flight from Denver to Orange County, California, he lightly tapped a flight attendant to ask for a cup of ice for his son. He says the flight attendant shouted, "Don't hit me." When the plane landed, he says 6 FBI and other law enforcement agents came on board and handcuffed him without explanation, questioned him, and then let him go. Now, United Airlines has apologized, they say. They say they're reviewing its policies. Terrell Davis is here with his wife, Tamiko Davis, and their attorney, that's Parker Steiner. I'm glad to see you all. When I heard this story, it just sounded so unbelievable and so out of the pale that I couldn't quite understand what had happened. When you say lightly tapped, your young son asked the flight attendant for the ice.
Yeah.
Set the situation. You're going down, the flight attendant's going down the aisle with the cart?
Yeah, going down the aisle with the cart. Asked my son if you
How old is your son?
He's 13.
13, okay.
13. And so my son simply asked him after he had served me, he said, "May I please have a cup of ice?" And the flight attendant didn't hear him, so he pushed the cart past me because I'm in the aisle. And I reached over lightly, I put my hand up first, and I was trying to get his attention, and he didn't see it, so I lightly tapped him on his shoulder. And when I did that, he swung his arm around, and he said, "Don't hit me." And
Were you surprised that that was his reaction?
Oh, absolutely.
And
My hands,
what's
I
your
was like, "What are you
definition,
talking
Terrell,
about?"
of a light tap? You know?
That's a light. I'm tapping, hit my wife the same way I tapped him, just to get his attention. That was it.
So you were surprised at that reaction?
Yes, I was. I was very surprised at that. But then, he rushed to the front of the plane. He left the cart there. But I didn't think anything of it. Like, okay, whatever. He had his little moment there, but...
Did other passengers say anything?
Yeah, one passenger in front of me turned around and said that you didn't hit him. He said, "I saw it. You didn't hit him." I was like, "Yeah, of course I didn't hit him." And so I thought nothing of it. That was it.
So when did you all realize there was a problem?
When we landed in Orange County, and they told everybody on the plane to remain in their seats because they didn't give us they didn't say why.
They said everybody.
But I thought it was because there was a medical emergency. I had been on planes before. I've seen that before. They say stay on a plane, let paramedics come on, and then you get off.
You didn't think it had anything to do with you.
I am reading a magazine at that point. Reading the magazine, my kids are over there, my wife's over there, and all of a sudden you can kind of hear, you can hear all the gear and the walkie-talkies, and a lot of commotion. And I peeked into the aisle, and I see all the agents. I see FBI on the jacket. I see the green. I think it was the Orange County Sheriff Department.
Yeah.
And they were walking back toward the plane, and as they get closer to my seat, they come straight to me. And the agent walks up to me and he leans over, whispers, "Don't fight it," and put the cuffs on me.
Said, don't fight it?
Don't fight it.
And put the handcuffs on you.
And that moment, I felt all of my dignity. I felt powerless. I felt embarrassed. I felt like, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to explain what was happening. He didn't tell me what was happening.
Did you think that you were being handcuffed because of the ICE incident, or did you think what?
Yeah, I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when I thought about it, like, could this have been because of that?
Tamika, what did you think? Because were you aware that there'd been an ICE incident?
I was not aware of any incident.
Yeah. So from your point of view, the agents come on and arrest your husband.
And I'm curious, just like the rest of the flight, like, oh, you know, what's happening? And I see them go straight to Terrell and put him in handcuffs. And I jumped up and I said, wait a minute. And I said, what are you doing? Like, what? And I kept asking Terrell, I said, is this a joke? Like, are you joking? I thought, like, what else could it be, right?
Yes.
This is some cruel practical prank he's pulling on me.
No.
And you just have all these emotions going through panic.
And your children, you have 3 children, ages what, and what?
Our boys are 13 and 11, and they were seated next to Terrell. And our daughter is 9, and she was seated next to me.
So I can't imagine what it was like for the children, too, to see their father handcuffed and taken off the plane, and they said, don't fight it.
Don't fight it, no explanation.
Yep.
Well, I want to say this. United Airlines has since apologized. They said this is clearly not the kind of travel experience we strive to provide. We have reached out to Mr. Davis's team to apologize, continue to discuss the issue with them. We have removed the flight attendant from duty while we closely look into this matter, and we are reviewing our policies around incidents like this. So when you hear this, Parker, that the flight attendant has been taken out of service, it is under investigation. What more do you want United to do? Because clearly they seem to recognize this was an overreaction if they've taken the flight attendant out.
So, Gail, what happened here is a false or misleading statement by a United employee resulted in a man being handcuffed in front of his family, his wife, his children, being humiliated, tremendous fear, embarrassment, shock to the family. And he's escorted off the plane because of these statements, which within minutes of law enforcement interviewing Mr. Davis, other passengers, and others determined that it was a false or misleading statement. But the problem is the scars that took place and the trauma that took place are going to impact this family forever. And more importantly, Gail, or equally as important, we have heard from dozens of other United passengers that have experienced similar conduct events. And sadly, I don't know why it happened for Mr. Davis. Most of those people aren't handcuffed.
But I see the point you're making, but I do get the impression United was trying to rectify the situation. What did the agent say to you?
Well,
so you're taken off the
FBI
plane.
agent?
Yeah, you're taken off the plane and you're questioned, and then what do they say to you?
Well, after they apologized. They apologized, and they said that, listen, if I needed anything, they were there to help. But they realized that what the guy had said, and the biggest problem for me was that the intent of the flight attendant. When you went up there and made that call, your intent was to destroy me, right? And I didn't do anything to him. We never had any conversation.
And you all were trying to go to Disneyland.
We were going. we were going on vacation.
I mean, there are so many layers to this story.
Yeah.
Tamika, how has it affected you and your children, especially because you guys had no idea that this was even an issue?
Traumatizing. I think I felt helpless. I remember watching them place handcuffs on Terrell and seeing my 2 sons there. As a mom, as a Black mom, raising 2 Black sons, you work really hard to not have your children have those types of experiences. And we were simply going on vacation.
Yeah.
And this is something that we'll never get back.
No,
that moment.
I understand that.
I can't protect my children.
How would you all like this situation to be rectified?
Well, thus far, United's apology has been in response to media inquiries. The CEO has not issued a statement. And unfortunately, apologies and perhaps policy change doesn't take away from the traumas this family has experienced or other United passengers. And they need to be held accountable. We would love to see policy change. We think that's unbelievably important,
Well,
beginning with a sincere, true apology.
Well, something tells me that this story will be continued. I'm
Yeah.
very sorry that happened to you and your family, but I am glad
Thank
that
you.
you're okay.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
And I hope you do make it to Disneyland.
you.
I do hope
too.
that
We
for
will.
you. I believe you. Thank you so much for
All
being
right.
here.
His wife is beautiful. I'm not a big sports person. I don't really know Terrell Davis like that or his career and everything, but I do think this was a overstretched by the flight attendant. I think it's horrific. And the wife is absolutely correct. When you're a black mom raising this black children, period, especially black boys, you really try your best, to the best of your ability, to raise them in ways and have them in situations where they don't experience, something as such, right? You don't experience, the cops just pulling you over and getting overly aggressive with you. You don't want them to experience, you're going on vacation, you're doing nothing, and it's like, okay, you still can get handcuffed. Like, you tell your kids, like, make sure you walk right, drive right, do this, do that, so you won't have this experience. And here you are on a plane, you're asking for a cup of ice, and next thing you know, it results in you seen your dad being handcuffed and being arrested. And yes, being humiliated, absolutely. Too bad that no one caught this on camera. Like, there was no camera phones around so we can see a little bit more of this. This is just absolutely devastating. I don't know what is going on, but I think all planes need a little bit more policy, training, and procedures, because this guy, for him to just be like, oh, you hit me, and next thing you know, because you claim I hit you, now you can call the cops, and now we land and I'm getting arrested and questioned. It's just bananas. And that lawyer is absolutely correct. No matter what apology they throw out there, it still doesn't negate the fact that they was humiliated, they were embarrassed, they were wrongfully handcuffed, okay, and taken off that plane as if they did some real high level criminal act. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this story. Let me know if you ever had a situation, at an airport, at any particular airline, or while you was on the plane. I will say, recently, when I was coming back home from California, I didn't realize that my original flight was canceled. They did bump me right to the next flight, which I was originally supposed to fly out back home at 6 a.m. California time. And then they bumped me to a 7 a.m. flight, California time. But when they bumped me to that flight, I did not have a seat on the plane. Now, listen, I'm trying to work my way up slowly to business class and first class. But in the meantime, I was in just the section where you have extra leg room. And so that was on my original flight, but I paid for the extra leg room. So now when I'm on my way back home, and since that wasn't my original flight, the agent told me, she was like, we're going to get you on the plane, but you don't have a seat right now, but I'm gonna get you on a plane. And she explained everything to me. And so I just asked her, and I'm gonna, if levels are here, and and even though I was emotional, I took my level down here because I'm like, I want to get home and I want to be on this flight. So I was like, okay. And I just said to her, I said, I did pay for extra leg room. Whatever seat you find me, are you going to make sure it has extra leg room? And I also paid to sit by the window. So when I travel alone, I love a window seat, and I like extra leg room. And the reason why is, at least if a window seat and I'm tired, because you know how you falling asleep even if you got a neck pillow or whatever, your head be bobbing, or maybe you lean to the side on this person. The middle seats, I think, is the worst, because especially if you're not traveling with people because then you got to be like this, because you don't want to lean this way and hit that person, or lean this way and hit the other person. So anyway, I always buy a window seat so I know I could shift myself towards the window, if anything, and lean that way. Yeah, maybe not that sanitary, but at least I'm not impacting another passenger. So anyway, she goes, I don't know. I was just going to get you on a plane. And so immediately, even though I was keeping it here, I was rising up to here because I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Then she was like, if we don't get you a seat with extra leg room, and this was United, if we don't get you a seat with extra leg room, I'll just refund you your money. And I'm like, excuse me, hello. it's not about you refunding my money. I selected that seat for a reason. I selected the window with extra leg room for a reason, because that's the seat that I want. I don't want my money back. I want to get in the seat that I paid for, right? Anyway, I had to end up waiting until everyone boarded, because she was waiting on one passenger. And if that passenger made it on in time, that passenger had 6 minutes to check in. If that passenger made it on time, I wasn't going to get the extra legroom seat. If they didn't, I would. But the only thing I didn't understand is, how was that passenger? I didn't ask, because again, I didn't want to cause no trouble and bring no smoke in the game. But I didn't understand how that passenger, if they made it within that 6 minutes, they was going to get that window seat with extra leg room over me. I didn't understand it, but either way, I said a silent prayer within. God bless me, because I did get my window seat with extra leg room, but I didn't like the way it transpired. But I didn't say anything when I got home and they sent me the survey. I said it then. So I hope Terrell Davis, his family, they get the justice that they want and that they feel just. I do think this was so messed up for them, especially because they was just trying to go on vacation with their family. So, you know, prayers out to them, and hopefully United will do the right thing with them. So anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you ever had a situation when flying with whatever airline it was. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button, people, and I'll see you on the next video.